those joining me live and to those that'll be joining me on archive. I'm being joined by CalCastWed, who can't deal with my head movement. He can't deal with my jab. For this distance, I'm good.
Gotcha.
Leave himself open upstairs. It's all good. But with that said, make sure you throw a jab before anything. Right now, this moment, if you're listening on archive, take a moment, go to a thumbs up, hit it, okay? For those too literal, just push the button. All right, just push it. And this episode of CalCast Wednesday is brought to you by Sharpie. All right, look at this. A Sharpie and Solo Cup. And by the way, Calix doesn't have a Sharpie, true story, in his house. He searched under the sofa everywhere. Right? He went to the garage. He went to the toolbox. No Sharpie. This is unacceptable. This is not. We can't.
It's a regular pin. Regular pin.
Unbelievable. Shout out to DJ Mexicano de Tejas already in the chat. Look at that. What's going on, bro? All right. Always the first one. Always on time. And I'm sure he hit that jab button. Okay. Hit that thumbs up button. All right. Don't forget to do that. We're going to start off right out of the gate. Right out of the gate, we got to talk about these polls. All right? So, I need you to address the polls, Calix. I mean, from your perspective, of course. I don't have a problem with the results so far, but maybe you do. All right? As of right now, first of all, before anything, who's got your vote right now out of these four great fighters, by the way, all qualified, not just one of them. They're all qualified to be Paul Williams first week. This is like the third week of Winky Ride. But of course, Miguel Cotto is fifth week. And you guys still don't know who I'm going to put next. I'm going to announce one of the two fighters next, by the way, after this, just so you know. And then, of course, Bernard, the legend Bernard Hopkins on his sixth week, bro.
Ooh.
Sixth week. All right? Who got Calix's vote?
Miguel Cotto. He's got to get through this week because I'm afraid to see who you're putting in next week. So Cotto's got to get through this week.
Look at this.
Has to. Come on.
Look at this. It's been like this for 24 hours. Not one. No more votes benefits Bernard Hopkins. Okay. Without a shadow of a doubt. Right. This is his last week for Bernard. He's in the lead right now. 34%. But this is not a comfortable lead. All right, this is not a comfortable lead at all. Williams, 19%, Wright, 17%. Those guys are going to survive, okay? But Miguel Cotto, he's there. He's in the mix. He's in the mix. And remember, you guys were like, oh, no, well, maybe we should go for Bradley because Cotto will have his week, right? You guys voted for Bradley? How do you feel about that vote now? All right? So now you have to make this decision. Miguel Cotto, or are you confident he advances on the 6th week, Alex?
No. I'm afraid to see who you're putting through next week. And I might, slip you a little money to put somebody in there easy next week so my boy Cotto can get – but look, how much longer we got before this closes?
This closes at the end of tomorrow's show.
Okay. So I'm gonna get on the phones, get some people to vote for Miguel Cotto, and we're going to get this done. I think I can get him to the finish line.
Maybe. But tell you what, man. You guys the people that want Hopkins to win, they could do the same thing. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. So it's 24, about 25 more hours to go, and the polls are closed, guys. All right, closed forever. All right. What's good, Chief Funk 84? What's good, Dean Calix? Jab the like. Absolutely. Make sure you guys throw a jab at the like button. Haplotype in the house. What's going on? Joe Lopez 40 ounce voted for Cotto. Chief Funky 84 voted for Cotto. Where are you dudes that voted for Hopkins? Where are you guys at? I see the votes, but I don't see you guys anywhere. All right. But with that said, okay, vote code, hashtag vote Cotto. Calix, we got to do something about this avatar. I'm not sure what this is about. This is like iRobot, and then it's pink. Just to top it all off. Okay. Maybe like CalCastWed with some gloves or something, to look tough. I don't know. It's we're talking boxing, I'm just saying.
Okay. I'll try to toughen it up.
Right. You could have pink gloves, but toughen it up. Right.
All right. Got it.
He says, refresh. I voted for, he just voted for, this dude just voted for Cotto. All right.
Yeah.
These Cotto
Refreshing.
fans are just coming out of the woodworks, okay? And they're like, nah, I'm going to vote for Cotto because this, that, and the third. Man, you guys. Okay.
What are we at now?
Well, I don't know. I'm sure 59 votes. Cotto's at 31%. Hopkins is at
Yeah.
34%. So there's some movement there. 25 hours to go. It's the last week. This is Bernard Hopkins last week, guys. I even took off the execution. I put the alien. Dude's been on there for 6 damn weeks. All right.
Yeah, I know. I noticed you put the alien. To me, he'll always be the executioner. Always.
Well, it was late. You get it, right? It's been there for 6 weeks already, right?
Yeah.
At least he had a nickname. Cotto uses his middle name.
I know. He never had. He never had a nickname.
Well, what, the Silent Killer? That's what Mayweather called him. I thought that was the best nickname ever, but they didn't go with it. They didn't keep it alive.
No.
Right? They didn't keep it alive, folks. With that said, make sure you go vote on those polls. Special Listen Archive. Go vote now. Go. Like, press the pause button, right? And go vote. All right. You're back. Great. Glad to have you guys back. With that said, really quick, Galax, Lomachenko versus the UK monster. I don't know. I'm trying to pump the guy up. But Luke Campbell, how do you see that fight going, man?
I see it going how every Lomachenko fight pretty much goes. He's too special, man. He's too special.
Is he going to be in a little bit of trouble like the Linares fight, or is he just going to dominate the whole thing?
Dominate the whole thing. Campbell might have some moments early, some seconds. He might land some shots early. He's a nice fighter, man. Campbell's a good fighter. A lot of people think he's number 2 at the division. Whether he's number 2, I don't know. You could argue Comey. You could argue Teofimo Lopez. But a lot of people would argue he's number 2 in the division. Rightfully so. He's a nice little fighter. Got some nice range. Puts together nice combinations. A fluid fighter, free punching guy, southpaw. However, I think that's going to backfire on him. The southpaw thing. I think Lomachenko's he's going to be wide open for those Lomachenko right hands, wide open, and Lomachenko's going to light him up. It's going to be a stoppage, man. He's going to stop him middle rounds.
You think yesterday Ashley said he'll stop him with body shots? You think he's going to kill that long torso of his?
Yeah, going to kill the body, but he'll pretty much be able to do whatever he wants. I think Campbell is going to be a deer in the headlights once he figures out what's going on. I think he's a brave fighter. He's a tough fighter. Like I said, he has some good attributes going for him, but he's in there with a guy who the only way Lomachenko is going to lose is, and we've talked about this, and I still firmly believe this, is he's going to have to go up in there with another great fighter in a higher weight class. Because I think Lomachenko is such a special fighter. I really do believe he's a special fighter. And I use that word strongly with him.
Right.
So I think he's going to have to be at 140 against another special fighter, or 147 against a very good to great fighter. Would have to beat him. I don't see anybody at 135 posing problems for him. That includes Lopez and Comey, who, by the way, they're supposed to be fighting in December, from what I'm hearing. That's being talked about on the undercard of Terrence Crawford, which would be an awesome fight. And if those two guys, the winner of that fight, I'd love to see Lomachenko fight the winner of that fight at 135 for supremacy. You also have what's his name, Floyd's guy, Gervonta Davis. He's in the mix at 135. Very talented fighter.
He's got to move up, but yeah.
Yeah, he's going to move up and
big,
possibly fight Lomachenko if he wants that big money payday, and hopefully Lomachenko is still there. But Mikey Garcia at 140 could possibly pose a problem for Lomachenko, but that's about it at 140 that I see. I don't know. There are some guys at 140 that could present a problem, but I think it would have to be a Mikey Garcia. But Campbell's a technical fighter too. But I almost think that technical fighters have more of a problem against Lomachenko, right? Because they become more predictable in there, right?
Yeah, you have to bring some you're not going to beat the chess master at chess.
Campbell's he's not unorthodox enough for me to give him a shot against Lomachenko. Like he's going to become too predictable. He's going to get timed, and he's just not going to have the firepower to deal with that. It would have to be. I mean, Mikey Garcia is a very technical fighter too, but I feel like he's more versatile. He can become more unorthodox, but I don't see anybody at 135 posing a problem for Lomachenko. That includes Teofimo Lopez, who is a big puncher, but we've seen Lopez the last 2 fights sort of show some flaws. Not a lot of flaws, but he's showing some flaws that Lomachenko could certainly take advantage of. But Loma's just a special fighter, man. Anybody who can hop into their career first fight and fight a 12-rounder, something special about that guy.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. It's and it's going to sound like an oxymoron to a lot of people out there. By the way, salute to Clifton Bronson and everyone else that's joining in, man. Joe Lopes 40 ounce, haplotype. Salute to you guys. Check it out. All right. It's going to sound like an oxymoron to people, but it's like Luke Campbell, that type of fighter or that level of fighter with any other fighter, right, or any other world-class fighter would be considered a great fight. And it is a good fight. Okay. They're not putting Lomachenko in there with some bum. Like, this is a good fighter for this weight class. Right. But it's going to be a one-sided fight. Like, he's going to beat the shit out of him. Right?
Have you seen the Vegas odds?
No, what is it?
Lomachenko's minus 2,500 favorite.
What's Luke Campbell?
Plus 1,000. So, if you want to put 100 down on him.
What's Luke Campbell by knockout? Because that's the only way I see him winning.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't delve that far into it, but to me, there's no value in it. I mean,
but it fights in England.
It is, but
robberies can happen. I'm just saying.
What
if I don't know, he elbows Lomachenko and it goes to scorecard after 3 rounds, or it can't be after 4 rounds.
Yeah.
So,
I just don't see any.
$20.
I don't see any. I don't see any pathway to victory for Campbell. I really don't.
But by the way, Calix, BoxRec has Lomachenko height 5'7". There's no way this is 5'7".
No. What is he, 5'3", 5'4" in reality?
Probably, but what is it with boxing and just sports in general that they don't tell the truth about these heights?
But that's a normal thing, particularly in basketball. I mean, I was listed at 6'5". I'm 6'3". I mean, so it's a normal thing, especially in basketball. But yeah, they're going to lie about reach. They're going to lie about height. It is what it is. But we know he's not. We know he's not 5'7". I give him 5'3", probably.
5'5".
But height and reach, we've talked about this ad nauseum since we started this show. Is height and reach, if you don't know how to use it, and most guys don't know how to use it today, it almost seems like more times than not it's a disadvantage to have height and reach, especially when you're going against a Lomachenko, a Canelo against Kovalev, which will probably happen, looks like later in the year. Height and reach will probably end up being a detriment to Kovalev as the fight goes on, but we'll talk about that at another time. But I think, especially in this fight, Campbell, that height, that body, Lomachenko's going to zero in on that body and really take it to him.
It's like in a close quarter fight. Any fight in close quarters, man, let me tell you something. Okay, if you have a long ass spear, it doesn't give you the advantage, right?
No.
Over the guy that has a knife. Okay, so that's pretty much what we're saying, right? Bricks in his hand, says G Funky. That's the only shot. What do you think about this, bro? Because this dude could pop dirty. They're not even know about it until after the fight, right? He can apparently wear whatever gloves he wants. Although this is not going to happen with Lomachenko camp. They have way more leverage and have way more control over this than Rivas. But still, you think they got to watch a little bit?
No, I think it'll be fine. But I even think Campbell could load up his gloves and still lose the fight.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is such a disadvantage, but it's more of a testament to how special Lomachenko is as opposed to where Campbell is, because Campbell's a good fighter. He's a good fighter, man. He's got a lot going for him. He's in the mix with everybody else at 135, but he's up there against a great white shark in that division. You're just not going to deal with that. Too much going on for Lomachenko. Too great, too special. In my opinion, he's the top pound for pound fighter in the world. I even think so over Crawford. I mean, what do you think? You got him at what, 2?
I'll put Lomachenko. I don't do lists, but I'll say about top three, top four for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's two or not. I gotta like, there's Canelo's there. You know what I mean? But it's debatable. But right up top, to me, the best fight in the world's Crawford. But I mean, I'm not. If someone has Lomachenko number one, it's not like a sin or anything like that.
Right.
You could argue it. Anyway, moving on to the next topic here. Calix, what's up with? First of all, what's the name of that dude? That dart player that Tyson Fury is fighting next?
I don't even remember. But look.
Well, why is Fury fighting Povetkin? Right? Fury should be fighting that guy.
Look.
Okay? And Tyson Fury should be fighting Povetkin. But what are your thoughts on Povetkin Fury? Fury.
No, yeah, I think Povetkin. I was reading up on that the past couple of days. Povetkin's going to be too much for him. I forgot there were fights this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Povetkin's going to be too much for him. Too technical.
Of Lomachenko.
Right.
Yeah.
Huey Fury has a ceiling, and his ceiling to me is somewhere between like fringe top 10 and out of the top 10, somewhere between 10 and 20. But obviously he's not his brother or his cousin. Whoever. Yeah, his cousin. A decent heavyweight, but Povetkin is a very good technical heavyweight.
He's solid.
Yeah. He's solid. So he's gonna be too much for Fury, but I think Fury will hang in there. I think it's going to the cards, but you could see it like 116, 112, 117, 111, something like that. But I would love to see Huey Fury box above his potential in this fight and win this fight on the scorecards. I think it would be good for him to get in the mix. Povetkin has already been in there with big fights. I'm Povetkin'd out, to be quite honest. So I'd like to see Huey Fury do something here and get in the mix. But I think that
shit.
Yeah, I don't think Huey Fury is going to win this fight. I think Povetkin's going to be too much for him, and I just think Huey Fury has a ceiling, and it's beating guys somewhere between 8 and 10. But once you get higher than 8, I think Huey Fury runs into trouble with all those guys.
Yeah, I agree. I will say that I think Povetkin's going to win. I think he's going to knock out Fury late in that fight, but
I don't think so.
But we will see about that.
The Furies have good chins, man.
But I don't know about Povetkin out though. I think Povetkin has been in some exciting fights. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him I wouldn't mind seeing him.
He has, but he's been in there with a lot of guys. So all I'm saying is,
fight with Huck, dude, that fight was
all I'm saying is I want to see new names get in the mix.
Gotcha.
So I'd like to see Huey Fury get in that mix. I just don't. I don't think his ceiling is up there. I don't think he belongs with those guys. But I'd love to see him surprise me.
I hear you. Okay. Well, we will see, man. Huey Fury not out of it, but I definitely think he's a pretty solid underdog going into this. I'm favoring Povetkin for sure. So BoxRec has Huey Fury number 22nd in the world. Okay, which right now sounds about right.
Where do they have Povetkin? I wonder. Probably somewhere between 5 and 10.
He's number 5 in the world according to BoxRec. I don't know if he's there right now, but
I'd have him a little lower, to be honest. I'd have him probably.
I got him 9.
Yeah,
sounds about right. Mr. Boxing Today has 7, but Mr. Boxing Today has a top 100 list. You know what I mean? Anyway,
that guy's a heavyweight encyclopedia.
Yeah. Shout out to Mr. Boxing Today. I actually don't know if his number set. I don't know where. I forgot. He has the top 25 list out for those that want to check it out. Mr. Boxing Today too. But
I'd have him around 7. I think, just off the top of my head. I can definitely name 6 guys higher than him, so I think I'd have him around 7. But where do you have that Lomachenko fight? How do you have that playing out? You think he's going to be stopped too, Campbell?
Yeah, I think Lomachenko is going to stop him too. I think he's going to tear up that body, bro. I don't know if he's going to go down like TKO, but either they're going to stop it or because Lomachenko's an accumulation guy. Like he emotionally makes guys quit and he physically makes them quit. It's one or the other. Okay. But it's sometimes he breaks their will before he knocks them out. Usually it's the opposite. You know what I mean? So, I think the frustrating part is that you're getting beat up and you're not landing anything. or
I
nothing
know.
significant, and it's pretty frustrating for a fighter to deal with that. As far as that goes, but
I wonder what they're gonna. But
go
I
ahead,
wonder
go ahead.
what they're gonna do with him after this fight because of Comey and Lopez fight in December. Obviously, he's
Okay.
not gonna wait. Obviously, he's not gonna wait around to see what happens with that. So I wonder if he's gonna stick around at 35,
He has to
wait
stick
to see
around.
what happens with that, and then maybe
Well,
140s in his future later in 2020.
Well, it can be. I understand that Luke Campbell's a top fighter in his division, but he is a big 135 pounder. So
Yeah,
this can be by design. This can be on purpose, right? Let's get you in there with a big lightweight before you actually move up. My only problem, bro, is that some of these 140 pounders are big, bro. Okay. I mean, they're big dudes. Okay, that are going to
Regis,
move up. Regis
Regis
is
is
big.
big.
Cater is big. Even Ramirez is big. Those guys are going to move up at some point. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like, I think Lomachenko, his body isn't ready to move up. It's just that he's so above the competition right now that
Yeah,
it makes sense for him to move up. But I would still wait. I would honestly, I would wait for the winner of Campbell versus, not Campbell,
Lopez, Comey.
Comey. Yeah, Comey and Lopez. I would wait for the winner of that fight because that's a doable fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, should
So now we're ready for it. Anyway, moving on. All right, shout out to KP from KC. He says he remembers Calix from back in the day. Do you feel old already?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes me feel old.
yeah. Well, Don Zeeby, what's going on? Loma needs a real challenge. Says 916 neighbor watch. E Watson. It says Calix in style. What's up, fam? What's going on, man? Salute to the whole chat. He says, I'd be surprised if Campbell survives his 916. I will too. I'll
I'd
be
be shocked.
impressed, actually. I'll be impressed if he survives 12 rounds.
Yeah,
Right? With that said, all right, let me tell you, man. Let me just put it up here. Let me just. All right. Look, man, Belts Gone Wild episode, what is it, like 98, 2005? What episode is this, bro?
episode 1027.
Look at this girl, like, literally, we got belts underneath that shirt. Look at this, okay? Everybody gets a belt. Everybody gets a belt. Belts Gone Wild. Okay.
Look at Canelo.
Yeah. He's like, yeah. Woo! The dealing, wheeling, limousine riding, blah, all that. All right. Calix, what's going on right now? All right. Why is Lara versus Alvarez and not the Alvarez you see on the screen right now? Okay. Right. I'm talking about Ramon Alvarez. Dude that lost to Brandon Rios and Margarito, and he's 28-7. Okay. Why is he fighting Erislandy Lara for the apparently vacant WBA? I think it's a regular title, but hey, title. What's going on? What's going on over here?
Yeah, they're fighting for the vacant WBA World Super Welterweight title. Ramon Alvarez is 28-7-3. Ramon Alvarez is actually the brother of Canelo Alvarez. We call Ramon Alvarez Fredo Alvarez. So Erislandy Lara couldn't beat Michael Corleone, so he's going to fight Fredo Corleone for a belt.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know. I don't know how this happens. What I would tell you is
Bobby Pacquiao going to get his shot next?
But look, Lara is going to beat Alvarez. I would hope so anyway, but Lara has not looked good for a while. Lara has not looked good his past couple of fights, but he's fought better competition than Ramon Fredo Alvarez, all right, who is 28-7-3, has been knocked out 3 times. Yeah. 33 years old, the less talented brother.
As in he got none of the good genes.
Yeah, he got knocked out or stopped by Brandon Rios. Other than that, man, every one of his wins has been against not so good competition. He lost a split decision to Antonio Margarito a while back as well. So just not a good up to par fighter. If Lara doesn't win this, Lara needs to retire. But they're really serving this one up for Lara. All right, he's going to get a belt, a trinket against not so good competition. But this is what we call a trinket. This isn't a belt. This is what we call a trinket. When you win something fighting Ramon Alvarez, that's not significant. That's a belt going wild.
Look, man. Okay. When I saw, I couldn't believe what I was saying. Okay. Okay. When I saw this was for a title, I know it's a trinket. I know, but this one takes the cake, bro. Okay. I mean, why is Ramon Alvarez? What has he done, bro, to fight for a title? It doesn't make sense to me.
He beat Jose Carlos Paz in his last fight.
That guy, like we should give that chick lifting her blouse a title shot. Okay,
He's number 42 in the division by BoxRec, by the way. 42.
42.
I think I'm 41st, to be honest. And I haven't even fought. I haven't even fought at 154, and I'm 41
Yeah.
by BoxRec. But he's the third best Mexican fighter at 154, according to BoxRec. So
Yeah.
maybe that got him the shot. I don't know, but he's not a big puncher. This is perfect. This is a perfect fight for Lara. Alvarez is not a big puncher. He gets knocked out. Lara has become a little bit more exciting his past couple of fights since he's a little more flawed, slowing down a little bit. But this is a nice title shot. Easy win for Lara. And who knows, man? Maybe Ramon Alvarez wins and he's a champion at 154. And wouldn't that make him the only belt holder in the family at that point? Hasn't Canelo been stripped of everything? Imagine that.
Woo! You want this belt, brother? You got to beat me.
Imagine
this belt.
imagine Thanksgiving dinner at the Alvarez family, and maybe Canelo still hasn't scheduled a fight by Thanksgiving. Ramon Alvarez walks in with his WBA World Super Welterweight title. And he's just flashing it around like, hey, look what I got. You thought you were the man, Canelo. Look what I got. He's the only brother with a belt.
Right. All right. I mean, this is crazy, bro. What the hell's going on over here? Okay. Hell, I'm going to make myself a belt. Okay. I'm making one right now. You guys are about to see it. Wait patiently now. Okay. Wait patiently now.
Let's see what this is.
What's that?
I can't wait to see what this looks like.
Shit. This is going to get a belt. I'm going to get a belt. I don't give a shit.
I hear your Sharpie moving.
You actually hear the Sharpie? Like, all right, let's get the shit out of here. Let's get the hell out of my screen, okay? All right, I am the Sharpie champ. All right, first of all, okay, I need to give a speech, bro.
Is that
okay?
Sharpie champ?
I'm the Sharpie champ. All right, give me my respect. Give me my thumbs up. All right, you give the champ his thumbs up. All right, you give the champ, the Sharpie champ. All right, that's what I am. Right here. I'm the champ. So go ahead, Cal. I'll just hold this belt right here while you talk.
It looks legit, and it's about as legit as that belt they're about to fight for. It honestly is.
Let me tell you something, man. Everything's about this belt. You want this? Oh, I got this shit upside down. You want this belt? Let me tell you something. You got to earn this belt. Any channel out there wants to be the Sharpie champ, you got to beat me for this belt. All right?
But it's not like this is a. I mean, what is this again? This is a vacant WBA World Super Welter. So this is pretty close to a legit belt they're fighting for. That's what makes it scary, right? I mean, this is a WBA belt. I don't. This probably isn't the WBA belt. I mean, WBA World.
It's the regular title. It's not the super title, but the regular title. Get it?
Yeah. So I mean, this is close to being a legit belt. That's what makes it scary. I mean, that's what makes it sad. Is Ramon Alvarez is fighting for pretty much a legit type belt. No, this isn't one of those obscure belts. Like
First of all, I'm questioning why Lara's fighting for a belt, much less fucking Okay, Alavarez, but hold on, this shit's heavy, bro. All right, there we go. Uh, by the way, it's correction. It's super Sharpie Chant. Okay, I'm a super Sharpie Chant. All right, if you want this belt, you got to take it from me.
I mean, at 154, WBA 154,
Isn't Julian
Julian
Williams?
Julian Williams. Julian Williams holds 3 of them. Tony Harrison and Moon Guy owns some too. So yeah, I mean, I guess this is like a one-off belt, but it's a WBA strap. I mean, it's not like it's an intercontinental belt or something like that. So I don't know. It's not a Sharpie belt. I can tell you that.
I'm the Sharpie champ, bro. Okay, but in all seriousness, though, although there's nothing serious about this, but at least I'm joking. They're not joking.
No.
This is for the WBA world title. All right, like this isn't hyperbole by the WBA. You know, it's none of that. None of that at all. I can't believe it, bro. I am, this is like I think they reached the point where they're like, well, we could get away with it anyway, so who cares? I think they've reached that point where they just don't care. You know, they're not even trying to hide it anymore.
They're well beyond that point.
Woo! If you want to be the champ, to be the man, you've got to just fight for a title that they give you. Okay, it's no longer beat the man. Now it's you just fight for what do they give you?
Yeah, right? Just back into one now.
Yeah, like you just get a belt. Belts for everybody. Everybody gets a belt. My grandma now wants a belt too. All right.
Participation trophies.
Yeah. Shit's insane. So that was look, man. Anyway, moving on. All right. But you have any final thoughts on the whole belts gone wild, Calix?
No, just another
fight itself. How do you think it's gonna go?
How do I think the fight's gonna go?
Yeah,
Lara all day. It should be anyway.
Look, if Lara struggles in that fight, retire.
Yeah, retire. Get it done. Get her done. Yeah, he needs to retire if that doesn't go well.
Does Lara call out Canelo if he wins?
He will. He said, "I'll beat his brother. I'll move up to 160 and fight him."
Yo le gané a su hermano.
But he's up there. Lara's up there in age, man. He's listed at 36. You know, these Cuban fighters, they like height. They do that with age. Seriously, they'll say they're 3 or 4 years
younger. He could be younger too. That is possible as well.
No, but likely he's older. I mean, they generally say they're a couple of years younger than they actually are. So Lara could be around 40 years old, if we're being quite honest. He's listed at 36, though.
He doesn't look that old, but
he's been fighting that old, though.
Well, yeah, his legs aren't all there, so he's gonna have to. But dude, his legs could be shot. He should beat this dude. Okay. What do you think of Alfredo Angulo versus Peter Quillin?
Wow.
By the way, at 168 pounds, by the way. Wow. Alfredo Angulo, okay, just really quick. He's 25-7 now, okay? All right. He's been knocked out 3 times already. He's 2-2 in his last 4 fights. He lost to Sergio Mora and Freddy Hernandez. Okay, Peter Quillin, of course, trying to make a comeback. What are your thoughts, Calix?
It's been a minute for Quillin, right? But he fought fairly recently in a comeback fight, I think. And he was supposed to fight, and the fight got pushed back, correct? And Angulo is stepping in.
Yeah, Truax was going to fight him. He blew out an Achilles.
And Truax would have beat him. Would have beat him. But this is
shout out to Roland Rodriguez in the house. What's going on in Boxing Dialogue? What's going on, guys?
This is an interesting fight in that it's really not that interesting, to be quite honest. Angulo, man, it's really sad that he's still fighting. I mean, wouldn't you agree with that? Angulo was taking a ton of punishment. I I don't even know what to say about this man. And Quillin was that guy who really underachieved in his career. Um, wasn't as active as he should have been when he was in his prime, and he was really exposed. His career kind of reminded me of Alan Green's career, to where you remember Alan Green was on ESPN Friday Night Fights. They were building him up. He'd fight on Friday Night Fights every 2 or 3 months, was blowing guys away. They were hyping him up. And all of a sudden he got onto Showtime fights or HBO fights and was just getting blown away by elite talent. And once they were doing the same thing, HBO was building up Peter Quillin, building him up, matching him correctly, building him up as this boogeyman. And then all of a sudden he gets in there with elite competition, or not even elite, leading up to the Danny Jacobs fight, decent competition. And he was in tough fights with decent competition. And you were like, okay, this guy isn't who we thought he was. And then Danny Jacobs completely blew him away. And he never really recovered from that. That's his only loss, isn't it?
Yes, that's his only loss.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he never recovered from it. That was it. And you really saw that coming because he's the guy who took step-aside money when he was originally supposed to fight Danny Jacobs, I believe.
First time, yes.
Yeah, Al Heyman paid him over $1 million, believe it or not. I think $1.1 million to step away from a fight. I don't think he was supposed to fight Danny Jacobs, actually. He was supposed to fight somebody else. He took step-aside money. Danny Jacobs fought that guy for the vacant title. And then Peter Quillin stepped in and fought Danny Jacobs for the same title that he gave up. That's what happened. But he got $1.1 million to stay on the side. And when he did that, a lot of boxers criticized that because they were like, why would you just willingly give up your belt to another guy? It wasn't just fans criticizing him. It was fighters. And you saw at that time where he wasn't thick-skinned. He wasn't taking that well. But he was willing to step on the side, give up his belt. So you kind of saw the writing on the wall. But losing a fight like that and then sitting out, it makes you wonder how invested the guy is in boxing.
Would you be shocked if Angulo wins, though?
I wouldn't.
No?
No, I really wouldn't, because I don't know what to expect of either guy at this point. I really don't. But Angulo, he's such a slow fighter, but he can punch. But I don't know if he can punch at 168. I mean, do you think that's going to carry up in weight? Because he was a puncher at 154.
I'll tell you what. If he can punch enough and beat Quillin, you know who wants him next?
I already know where you're going. Yeah.
What do you think of Angulo versus Chavez Jr.?
I love that fight.
I mean, I think Chavez beats him at this point, but yesterday I was thinking Angulo, but man, after looking at Angulo's resume lately, bro,
I'm looking up Quillin's resume because he had the draw with Andy Lee, and then he fought once, and he did fight Jay. That's the fight I remember. He fought Jay Leon Love in 2018, and that's his last fight, and he did not look good in that fight. Jay Leon Love is a guy who just is not a good fighter, and he did not look good.
Guys that aren't good fighters, your boy over here, Chavez Jr. What about him versus Quillin? Assuming you think the winner of this fight should get, Chavez Jr.
Yes, make that fight immediately. I don't know, man. I don't know where Quillin's at right now. I might take Chavez Jr. over both of them, to be honest.
Wow.
I'm be honest with you.
Man, Quillin's falling hard because I wouldn't have picked them when Quillin was still active and undefeated. I wouldn't have picked.
I don't know though, because Chavez Jr. ran through Andy Lee, correct?
Yeah, but it doesn't work that way. He was getting out right. He caught him, and the fight was in Texas, and
it doesn't. I know it doesn't work that way where A beats B, B beats C, but Quillin had a tough time with Andy Lee. Tough time. Yeah. All I'm saying is with like opponents, Chavez Jr. is right there with those guys. Chavez Jr., you already know what it is. We know what Chavez Jr. we're going to get. All right, if he faces adversity in the ring, he's going to fold. But what if he doesn't? All right, what if
Right.
he gets in there with Quillin and Angulo and it becomes a slugfest and Chavez Jr. is right in his zone in a fight like that? It's not gonna be a technical fight with those guys.
So you're favoring Chavez Jr. officially over Peter Quillin.
Yes, I am.
I got to see how Quillin looks in this fight. I got to see how he looks, and then I'll have a decision by then.
I
But
think he'll look pretty good because from what I've seen of Angulo in the past, even when he was in his prime or close to his prime, he was slow then, and I can't imagine how slow he is now. How slow the reflexes are. I think Peter Quillin's going to be a more direct fighter. He'll be able to throw straighter shots. I just don't see Angulo being in position to land a big shot against Quillin. But if he does, we know what Quillin's chin will do, man. It'll shatter. If Angulo lands something big,
will
man,
it
look
though?
out.
I mean,
Yes, I'm telling you, if Angulo lands something big against Quillin,
yeah.
Quillin can fall.
I mean, I don't know. We could base that off of one fight where this happened. You know,
Yeah, but
that
Quillin.
could happen to anybody.
Yeah, but Quillin was on Queer Street in a couple fights before
Yeah, true.
the
Yeah.
Danny Jacobs fight.
I got you. I
He
hear
doesn't
you.
have the best chin.
Yeah. We will see. We will see. You know what graphics coming.
In the way.
Moving on. All right. With that said, you know, this is real deal week. Okay. This
Really
week is
the real deal. Holyfield.
Yeah. Everybody's like, "Are you gonna have this week?" No, for real. Like, really? Like, you know? And I was like, "Yeah, for real, for real. We're gonna have the week. It's the real deal." All right. This week, man, great stuff, man. Before we go over anything, though, I want to make an announcement right now. Okay, we're about to make an announcement. So, add it to the polls. This is fighter number 1. I'm gonna announce fighter number 2 tomorrow. Okay. Okay, we're gonna add this fighter to the polls. He's gonna be added to the eliminator, right? So call a friend, okay? Text your friend, tell him, hey, DStyle added this guy. Okay, just do that. And by the way, make sure you throw a jab at that like button. Add it to the polls. Can I have a drum roll? I don't know if it's a drum roll or like a future. But it's he's been at it, Alex.
Oh,
Arturo Thunder God has been at it. Okay, to the polls. Eliminator next week.
get him through.
We got another one tomorrow too. Okay. So, what do you think, man? What do you think? Give a case for Gotti.
Gotti's got to get through. Legend. Gotti's got to get through. Cotto's going to get through first. I'm going to go on an all-out assault in the next 24 hours to get Cotto through this week. And then we're going to get Gotti into the eliminator. He's going to get through in the first week. I will make sure 100% that Gotti gets through in the first 2 weeks to the championship.
You went from 1 to 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Give me 2 weeks. Give me 2 weeks. I'll get Gotti through. But I'm pretty confident he'll get through in the first week. But I don't want to make any guarantees. I guarantee you, though, he'll get through in 2 weeks. But I'm pretty sure he's going to get through in that first week.
Oh, man. You already got Pavlik on deck. Okay. You got, who am I missing? I know I missed somebody.
Those guys are no match for Gotti. And Gotti, that's going to be a great week. I cannot wait. That's going to be a great week.
Well, it's going to be interesting, man. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
Look at all the fights of the year the guy was in. All the fights of the year.
Oh, that's who I forgot. The Babyface Assassin is on there. Okay. I don't know, man. I don't know if I would be making guarantees right now.
He's going to get through. I'm telling you. I guarantee in 2 weeks, but I'm pretty sure the first week he'll get through. I'm telling you, the people are going to come out for Gotti. Gotti fought for the people. The people are going to fight for Gotti in DStyle's community. I can guarantee you that.
Oh, we will see. All right. And here we go. Real deal Holyfield.
Look at that head.
Right? Calix, give me your three favorite Holyfield fights.
There are a ton to pick from,
Well,
and
you can do you don't have to stick to three, but give me your
no,
favorite fight.
I'm gonna give you three. I'm just saying. I'm starting this off by saying there are a lot to choose from, and I went on a Holyfield. Ironically enough, about 2 months ago, I went on a Holyfield just rabbit hole on YouTube and watched like in the span of 3 days, probably watched like 15 to 20 Holyfield fights, just
Yeah.
back to back to back. The guy fought so many classic fights against so many great fighters. But the three that stick out to me, and it's not just what happened in the fight, it's some controversial stuff that happened.
Okay.
And I wanted to get a little more creative than this, but I can't. The two Tyson fights are two of the top three for me. Just because
Okay.
if you go back and research that first Tyson fight, in which Holyfield won by stoppage, if you
Yeah.
look at it, Holyfield was on a bit of a downtrend going into that fight, and Tyson was back on an uptrend. Tyson had won 8 straight fights, blowing through guys since the Buster Douglas fight. He's back out of jail. Everything's going good. Holyfield, however, was on a downtrend. He had fought he hadn't had a good fight. He had won some fights, but he hadn't had a really good fight in 2 or 3 years there. He had lost to Moore in that span. He was having heart problems. So he was having a lot of issues going into that fight. And I looked up the odds going into that fight. At one point, Tyson was a 25-1 favorite going into that fight against Holyfield. They were not giving Holyfield the love that he deserved, the credit that he deserved. And hindsight's 2020.
Yes.
That was just a mismatch for Tyson. And it was a mismatch up here because Holyfield, and especially what did we learn in the first Moore fight, even though he lost? You hear Teddy Atlas say it. Evander Holyfield had basically had a heart attack in that fight and still won 12 rounds. Okay, so you take a guy who is that mentally tough, that mentally strong. He'll fight anybody. He'll fight anybody anywhere. He'll fight at cruiserweight. He'll move up to heavyweight. He'll fight any style. He'll use his head. He'll get dirty. He'll do whatever he has to do. And he fights against a guy in Tyson who is one of the most physically gifted fighters of all time, if not the most physically gifted fighter of all time, but mentally weak up here, fragile. And it was a complete mismatch up here, and that's what we saw. So the first fight sticks out to me in that I remember I was in, I don't know if I was in grade school, high school at the time, but leading up to that, everybody was talking about, oh, Mike Tyson's back. He's going to destroy Holyfield, all that. And then everybody was quiet the next week at school. And then the rematch comes, and everybody's still expecting, oh, Tyson's going to come back. It's going to be a good fight. It's a toss-up fight. And then all of a sudden, the ear thing happens. And to this day, the craziest thing I've ever seen in a boxing ring.
Right.
And Holyfield will always be known for all of the great feats he's done, Hall of Fame fighter, first ballot, all the great fights. He'll always be known as the guy who got his ear, part of his ear bitten off by Mike Tyson, which is still crazy. We've seen some crazy things in the boxing ring, right? Bogalata riot. Name some other things. Floyd Mayweather knocks out Victor Ortiz while Victor Ortiz isn't looking. So we've seen some crazy things in pay-per-view fights. We've seen some crazy things not in pay-per-view fights. Look at Kermit Cintron jumping out of the ring against Paul Williams. We've seen some weird and crazy things. But
we've seen dudes fall out of parachutes. Yeah, we've seen a lot.
That's what I was about to get to the third.
Oh, okay.
The third fight, the third most memorable fight for me was Holyfield versus Bo, the second fight. The fan guy going into the ring, getting beat in the head with the by Bo's crew in the corner. Just crazy things happening not only in the fight but around the fight. And so that's my third one. And the fact that he came back and beat Bo in that second fight after losing the first one. just a lot to love about Holyfield. Just the fact that, yeah, I mean, there's a scene right there, just crazy. And look at Mills Lane once again in
Yeah.
that fight. And
You know what?
just
Mills
think
Lane
of,
is the reason for all this shit happening.
but just think of how famous Mills Lane got off of that ear biting thing. I mean,
Started a judge show and everything. Yeah.
that's another thing that I remember is the week after, everybody's on talk shows. Evander Holyfield's going on talk shows with part of his ear in the jar. Mills Lane's going on talk shows talking about how he saw the fight, and he saw part of Holyfield's ear on the canvas. Just crazy things, and Holyfield was surrounded by some crazy things. And but he's a guy who always tested himself. And a lot of people, you loved or hated him because a lot of people did not like the style, the dirty style, him headbutting and whatnot. I mean,
it wasn't on purpose, just the way.
I didn't think so either. But
and if there's some guys that didn't have an issue with it at all, like a James Toney, although that was an older Holyfield, but
right,
Lewis, like if you knew how to fight Holyfield, okay, you can deal with that. I just really quick shout out to Cali Enigma, $5 super chat saying just showing you support. Salute. What's going on, Cali? Where were you? All right, Calix, when this happened, the parachute guy. Where was Calix?
I was watching with my uncle in my grandma's living room, and that's what I remember about the two most memorable fights I remember watching with my uncle was Bo Galata and Bo Holyfield. Two crazy things happening, and I was in the same spot in my grandma's on my grandma's couch watching the fight. It's just 90s heavyweights, man. That was just a beautiful time. It's a beautiful time. Seeing those guys mix it up and seeing the flaws that some of them had mentally and that they could snap like that at any time. It was beautiful to watch. I mean, look at that.
Because dude, not only do I remember where I was, where I saw the fight, like the Tyson ear bite is up there with like whatever historic moment, like you knew where you were sitting, in what room, in what place, who was sitting next in the right of you, the left of you. You remember everything. Where was Calix when this happened?
I got to be honest. I didn't see that fight live. I did not see that fight live. Yeah. I saw the first one.
Give me your boxing fan card right now.
I know. I saw the first one live, and then we didn't order the second fight. I don't remember if I was out of town or what happened. I was in high school at the time. So obviously didn't have the
saw it because there was no internet back then like this, like YouTube,
Right. But I remember watching the fight. I don't know if they showed it on HBO or Showtime the following week before a fight, but I remember seeing it a week or two after, some kind of way. I don't know if somebody recorded it or what, but I remember watching it with a friend actually at his house and just being shocked. But you got to remember, you had already that was a short fight. The fight that happened like in third, fourth round, right?
Yeah, it's I don't remember the exact round, but I do remember that Tyson was doing better in his fight. But obviously mentally he didn't feel like he was. So
yeah, and obviously he looked for an out. But I remember watching this at my friend Kevin's house a couple weeks, maybe even the week after this happened. And there was probably I'm thinking that they replayed it though before a fight like they do now, because there was such a like you said, there's no YouTube, so there was such controversy about this fight, and a lot of people obviously didn't see it because it's a pay-per-view. A lot of people saw it, but a lot of casual fans might not have seen it, and they saw the replay and like, I got to see the fight, so maybe they showed it by popular opinion. But I remember watching it, being in shock, even though I knew what had happened already. But they definitely, I remember that night. I don't remember where I was though, watching on ESPN all of everything that happened, and ESPN couldn't show the live footage because they didn't own the rights. So they just kept showing these images that you see on the screen right here. And then they would cut to interviews and everybody was just going crazy. everybody was going crazy. And then Mike Tyson is giving interviews, he's just completely flew off the handle. It was just shocking to watch. And then Holyfield is giving interviews with 25% of his ear gone.
Dude, Tyson was like talking about this years later, like it was no big deal. Like I saw him, I think it was on one of a show called Politically Incorrect by Bill Maher. And he was like, I mean, people made a big deal, but you know how he talks, right? But I mean, it's not the first time somebody bit somebody's ear, you know. It happened before. So I don't understand why. Like, dude, what are you talking about? Don't downplay it. This is how I saw fights back in the day, Calix. See that? That's right. Right? Dudes would
Speaking of Mike Tyson, I actually had Mike Tyson's greatest knockouts on VHS. I had a couple of them. Yeah, I mean, Mike Tyson was just, there was no bigger thing in the 90s than a Mike Tyson fight. And for something like this to happen during that, I mean, just think of the greatest sports moment. And
Ruiz is not going to bite like Joshua's ear off. Like, it's not going to happen. You know
That's something that would have completely shut Twitter down, shut everything down in today's age. There would have been nothing in modern sports to compare to that. Nothing.
No.
I mean, imagine Mayweather, Pacquiao, and Pacquiao goes out there and bites Mayweather's ear. I mean, it would have been sort of the same thing. Although that probably would have been bigger, but because that would have been so weird. But just, I mean, come on.
Or like if Victor Ortiz would have bit a piece of Mayweather's ear off, like instead of the Billy Goat. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, bro.
The Billy Goat move.
Yeah, like it's the first thing that was done, right? These were the ways I saw fights, bro. And then you know, my cousin would like write it down. Like, just check it out. Shit, you're gonna love this. Okay. Like they would bring the fights and it'd be like, they'll write it down like, oh.
So y'all tape the pay-per-view and then watch it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In hindsight, I
got the tape, bro.
In hindsight, I should have done a lot of that and uploaded it to all of them to YouTube. Because I got a ton of basketball games from the 90s, early 2000s on VHS that I taped. Should have done that with boxing.
If you would have done that like 10 years ago, man, those videos would have gotten millions of views, bro. Okay. Yep. Now, I mean, they're up, you know what I mean? But, you know, what are you going to do? I want to read over some of these comments here for one of the latest polls I put up. So let me bring it up. Oh, by the way, Calix, did you score the Valuev fight?
The what?
Valuev. Remember that big giant oaf?
Against Holyfield?
Yeah.
No.
It was, you didn't? For real?
I may have. I don't know. I don't remember it, though.
I thought Holyfield won that fight.
I don't remember the scorecard.
47 or some ridiculous.
I remember us doing a video about that or something. And Valuev, I always call him Valuev, won on the cards, right?
Yeah, you won on his cards, but
that was a clear robbery.
To me, it was a robbery.
Yeah, and, that was a 7-foot. That was a 7-footer with all the back hair, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
like 7'2" or some ridiculous shit like that. Okay?
Yeah, Holyfield beat him easy.
All right, I'm gonna read over some of these here. I asked the question: what do you appreciate the most about Evander Holyfield? First of all, Kelly, what's your answer, Kelly? What do you appreciate the most about Holyfield?
That he fought everybody. He fought everybody.
Yeah.
A testament to a real fighter, a warrior. He fought everybody. He left nothing out there.
Well, I put to me
everything out there.
His warrior spirit scrapbook. Evander Holyfield symbolizes the true meaning of the term fighter. Someone who pushes against the odds. He had to come back 2-1 to defeat the #1 ranked Ricky Womack and place himself in the Olympic team. 1984 Los Angeles Games. He knew what he was looking at. Okay. Oh, he knew what. I knew what I was looking at. I'm sorry. I read that in third person. Boxing Spectrum, his longevity.
Yeah.
Man in Water, his heart. Mr. Boxing Today, too. Go subscribe to his channel, by the way. True warrior, didn't mind rematching some of his toughest opponents. Reached a high level in 2 divisions, says Kufitsu. 88 Sports Talk says his chin and will to win at the highest level. GG, he was never afraid of a challenge. Crimson Titan. What I appreciate the most about Holyfield was that he symbolized what is best about boxing. He fought any and everyone who was at the top of his division. This is in large part why he enabled him to become two-time undisputed champion in two separate weight classes. He was every bit of deserving of his boxing nicknames. He was a warrior, and he was the real deal. EJ Boxing Live, subscribe to his channel. By the way, did a show with him on Saturday. Never give up in a fight. Give it 100% at times in the ring. Okay, at all times in the ring. He's a real deal. His name says it all. Okay, 404 Boxing is a willingness to fight and rematch anyone. Dixon, warrior champion with heart who fought anyone, anywhere, and will go down on his shield in an effort to win. 704 Joe Hart, because she loved the Chi TV. He was willing to fight everybody. And the fact that one of the earliest boxing memories I have is him and Bo's second fight. I remember Holyfield not giving everything giving everything he had, warrior through and through. Chris M, warrior spirit, you done said it, DStyle. Wheelchair says heart and a willingness to fight anyone without any nonsense. Rob Sportsman Lee, he was fighting champion who wasn't afraid of a five-alarm smoke. And finally, Mike 104 boxing. Besides boxing ability, I enjoyed that he was always caught in some bullshit like the fan man and the fight War Holyfield.
I know. He was always caught in some bullshit.
It always happened probably because he was just busy fighting everybody. Something's bound to happen, right? By the way, it's crazy that this dude rematched everybody, whether he won or lost. Like rematch, sure, let's do it. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, sure, why not?
That's what I'm saying.
Like like in Rocky 1, where like after the fight, Apollo's like, you ain't getting no rematch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Holyfield never said that ever.
No.
He never said he would have said, you want a rematch?
You're getting a rematch.
You're getting a rematch. I don't want one. Oh, you're gonna get one. Okay. I don't want one. You're gonna get one. Right?
You're getting it.
You're gonna get the rematch whether you like it or not. Okay. I would love to see a live feed of Tyson Holyfield 2 fight in Spanish. Holy shit. So what's up to Boxing Conversation? Reggie Owens. By the way, man, some people not impressed, bro. Kelly says Scotty was a C-level fighter.
Ooh. Ooh. Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Boxing Dollar, however, did say he'll get the vote. His first fight with Bo is one of my favorite fights ever, he says. Man, bro, Bo was landing that jab, popping that jab before Fan Man went down.
Yeah.
All right. Fan Man was a conspiracy with Holyfield. Like, hey, you're gonna come down.
You're saying it's kind of like when you said Baltimore Ravens were destroying the 49ers, and then all of a sudden the lights went out.
Dude, Holyfield passed some money to that dude. Okay, when you see me in trouble with that jab, just go down. Right. Like Holyfield, like his head was popping back from a jab when he saw the Fan Man, bro. I swear to God, go back and watch it. Bam! Like, and he went like this, and Bo was like, "What? Like, what do you mean what?" Like the ref had to stop him, bro. Like, whoa. Is it true that Bo's corner beat him up, the Fan Man?
Yeah, they were beating the hell out of it. He landed in the wrong corner. Bo's team did not mess around. You saw when he fought Galata, when stuff went down. Yeah. You don't land in Bo's corner. You should have landed in Holyfield's corner, man. They'd read the gospel to you.
Yeah. It's interesting. And as far as the question, AJ10, I mean, I'm not saying I'm officially there, but we're slowly, we're just opening the decades up as we go. Okay. We're definitely not going to touch guys that retired in the 90s. We still have some more guys in the 2010s that we got to kind of get to as well. But, that's that. Okay. With that said, Appreciation Week is about appreciating fighters and what they gave to the sport. All right. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm not asking you guys who you think is a better fighter. I'm asking you who do you want to see appreciated for that week. But if you want to pick the favorite fighter, by all means, you know what I mean? And the best fighter obviously is Bernard Hopkins this week. Okay. So you guys should definitely vote for Bernard Hopkins. All right. That's what I want to see win. We need to have it's a 6 week, guys. Okay, it's Bernard Hopkins.
Don't listen.
Fans, just wait till next week.
Don't listen to him.
Coto's got one, bro.
We want Cotto. We want Cotto. We want to see. Don't you want to see Calix go full Cotto tarded next week? Don't you want to see that?
Well, it would be the week after, but still. Right.
All right, 2 weeks. I'll go full Cotto tard. All right. Want to see that in 2 weeks? Vote Cotto next 24 hours. Go all out, and then next week is starting. Vote Gotti. Vote Gotti.
Look, man, I'm gonna release somebody tomorrow, bro. I wouldn't be so confident for Gotti. Okay, like I wouldn't be. I'm gonna release a name tomorrow. Tomorrow night, guys. Boxing conversations with Reggie Owens. I'm gonna release another name.
It doesn't matter what name you release. There will not be Cotto.
Right,
there will not be Gotti. I'm telling you.
You see, that's what I thought. All right, it's not Tyson, by the way. So you guys know it's not Tyson, but it's not quite Tyson. Right? It's not quite.
Is it a heavyweight?
I'm not going to give you guys any clues. You guys don't get clues. All right? Nobody gets clues. All right? But I'll just confirm that it's not Tyson. All right? I could also confirm that it's not Ward, because I'm still waiting on Ward. I'm going to wait a couple more months for Ward, and we'll see if he's really retired. I have a feeling he's going to come back, though. I don't know why. I've had that feeling for 2 years. But maybe he won't. And then, of course, there's Mayweather, but I always feel like he's going to come back. All right. So I don't want to do an appreciation week for guys that are coming.
Ward will only come back for Canelo. That's it.
Well, there you go. So let's wait on that. But so there's still guys that I'm sure are retired and stuff like that. So we're waiting on that. But I could confirm it's not Floyd, it's not Ward, and it's not Tyson. Other than that, I'm not going to confirm or deny anybody else. You got to tune in tomorrow. Okay.
Is it Ramon Alvarez?
How do you know? No, hell no, bro. Come on now. All right. Shit's crazy, bro. With that said, Calix, I don't know if you noticed, man, but look, I do the shit with highlighter now. Look at that. I'm stepping up my game.
I like
it. Okay. Like we're using highlighter now. Okay. I've drawn. Look at this, bro. Give me a thumbs this shit. How about you? Like I brought you guys memories with this shit. You remember the clock out with the zero? Remember that shit?
Yeah, that's beautiful art.
Like, everyone knows that, like, no one here had the clock like on the dot on their VCR. Did you, Calix?
No.
Did anybody even know how to do the clock? How to put the clock on?
I never fooled with it. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, it was always at zero, like 000, like blinking. You know, like all the time. Like I never understood why it was there too. Like
kids will never know the struggle of the VHS tapes. And
this was archived back in the day.
Yeah, remember when your VCR would mess up and it would get all the VHS tape would get all messed up and you had to try to spin it back. And then remember, they'll never know the struggle of the VHS tape and then the radio, the cassette tapes when you had to press record and play on the dot when your song came on.
Oh yeah. I played all my favorites, like Enter Sandman, stuff like that. Like real music, Alex. You know what I mean?
Reggie Owens is saying you're putting Klitschko on there. You better not.
Now Klitschko's they already had their shot. They got eliminated. Come on, guys.
That's what I thought. And look, Gotti is going to beat.
Klitschko didn't even have to go through an eliminator, and they still got eliminated.
Gotti is going to beat whoever you put up. I'm going to make sure of it. No, dude, I'm telling you, I'm going to make sure of it.
I wouldn't be so sure, bro.
I'm going to go door to door to make sure that happens.
Well, what happened? What happened to Frotch?
That didn't. I wasn't focused. I wasn't focused yet.
Well, there you go, guys. Look at this. Tune into those shows. All right, tune into those shows. Again, I'm not going to confirm or deny any of these names, guys. Okay, I'm not going to give you a clue. No clues. Zero. Okay, but we already know Arturo Gotti's been at it. You know you got guys that are not going to vote for Gotti, Kelly. So
why wouldn't they? Look at what he gave the sport.
All these guys give something to the sport now. All these guys give some. So
all right, I'll make my argument. Don't worry.
Yeah, but we can make that argument next week. Okay, you'll. That's when the poll will be out next week. This time with 24 hours left to go. Okay, so remember, guys, in 24 hours the polls will close. Go vote. Go vote. Go vote on the polls. Vote on the polls community page. Go vote. Right. With that said, don't forget about the $1 initiative, $ DStyleBoxing on Cash App or DStyleBoxing@gmail.com. A lot of guys, always donating. I do appreciate the support. It helps support the channel. It helps all this. Look at this. Okay? Look at all this. All right? Anyway, moving on. Any final thoughts, Alex?
Hashtag vote Cotto. In 2 weeks, hashtag, or next week, hashtag vote Gotti. Let's get these guys through, man. Let's get these real fighters their weeks. Come on. And I love the Real Deal week. Real Deal week was great. Coming off a terrible week, beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
We're on a roll.
Absolutely. This is DStyleBoxing. Vote for B-Hop. We're out. Keep it boxing.